Okay, this is video number 9 in the series related to kinematics of planar manipulators as a part of Rubo Analyzer based online competition. So in this video we'll be looking at MATLAB program for inverse kinematics of 3R planar manipulator. So this is as a part of Rubo Analyzer based online competition held during the May, June and July of 2021. So those people who have reached this video, I would request you to go through the earlier videos in this series. Okay, so let us look at very briefly what we had done in the formulation stage. We considered a 3R planar manipulator and the formulations have been given here. So we'll be looking at how to write the MATLAB code for the same. And in one of the earlier videos I did make few typing mistakes, so to avoid those let us write line by line code. Okay, so first and foremost we would want CLC clear all CLF to be written in all the MATLAB files that you would program. Then we'll consider the inputs. So we have say input as A1, maybe A2 and A3. These are the length of the three links. Okay, thereafter we want to give uh, the coordinates of the tip. Okay, we'll call it as px. So px point, uh, let us give somewhere around 1. Py also we can try giving maybe 0.5, and phi corresponding to the phi term. Okay, one of the input parameter here, phi. So now usually the user would be familiar with giving it in degrees. Okay, so I'll take the user input in degrees. Maybe I'll call it as 120 degrees. Okay, however in all the calculations what we do, we have to convert that to radians. Okay, so what do? We multiply this variable into pi divided by 180. So this is in radians. Phi, all the calculations that we do, please make sure that you have the angle in radians. Okay, when you want to show it to the user, you may again do the inverse of this. So if I get in radians, if I want to show it in degrees, I can just multiply it back and we'll get that. So that is not a problem. Okay, now we have a1, a2, a3, px, py and phi. That is what is mentioned here also. Okay, now after we know px, py, we have to get the term wx, wy or bx, by. So let us use the terms wx, wy. So the wx, wy terms are mentioned here below in equations 1 and 2. Wx is px minus a3 into cos of phi. Yeah, that is where it is important. See, when we do phi, this is in radians. If by mistake if you don't do it, then you will have to use cos d into phi deg. Okay, so cos d term is also there function, but as I suggested, it is always good to have an angle in radians. Okay, so wx is done. Similarly, wy is py minus a3 sine of phi. Okay, so to save space, let me just write it next to each other. So I've reached this point. Now once we reach this point, it becomes a 2R planar manipulator. Okay, so we have to get the term C2, then S2, then theta 2, S1, C1 and theta 1. Okay, so that is what we'll be doing now. C2 term is mentioned here. Okay, so let me write Wx. Again, this is a word of caution. Please have brackets for numerator and denominator. If you do not have bracket, there could be potential issues. Wx into Wx is for Wx square. I prefer writing like this: Wx square plus Wy square minus a1 into a1 minus a2 into a2. So that is the numerator. The denominator a1 2 into a1 into a2. So this is important. Please remember to have a bracket. See what will happen if I don't have. Okay, so this whole term will be first evaluated, and then into a1 will be done in the numerator instead of the denominator. Okay, and obviously all your uh, code, the rest of the code will become problematic because everything is dependent on the value of c2. Okay, now we want c2 to be less than or equal to 1, then only we will draw it, otherwise we will not draw it. We'll tell a user that the point is beyond the workspace. So yeah, somewhere here we have written. Now we'll have s2 underscore 1, which will be this term, square root of 1 minus c2 into c2. So that is one of the solution. Similarly, s2 underscore 2 will be minus square root of 1 minus c2 c2. I'm typing, I don't want to make any copy paste because last time we had difficulty. So similarly, now we have s21 s22. Now we'll have theta 2 underscore 1. The first solution is a tan 2 of s21 and c2. Similarly, theta 2 underscore 2 is going to be a tan 2 of s2 underscore 2 and c2. Oops, sorry. Semicolon. Okay. Now theta 2 has been determined. We'll now have to get the s1 c1 term, and both of them have a common denominator. So I'll have denominator underscore 1, right? Depending on which theta 2 value you put, you'll get the particular expression or the particular value. So expression is actually the same, a1 into a1 plus a2 into a2 square plus 2 into a1 into a2 into cos of now theta 2 underscore 1. So this is the first denominator for the first solution, right? So similarly, denominator for the second solution is also same. I'm still typing, I'm not doing copy paste. a2 plus 2 into a1 into a2 into cos of theta 2 underscore 2. Okay, so that is a denominator 2 term. Now we have to get s1 and c1 term. s1 underscore 1, the first solution is wy. Okay, now again numerator upon denominator, please use round brackets. Then the numerator term is wy into again a bracket a1 plus a2 into cos of theta 2 underscore 1 minus a2 into sine of theta 2 underscore 1, the first solution, into wx. Okay, so that is the numerator term. Now divided by, since we all only have one term, I need not have that denominator underscore 1. Okay, so that is what is the s1 term. Let's just double check. I have a2 cos theta 2, then a minus a2 sin theta 2 wx, denominator 1. So I'll have s1 second solution. It's going to be the same. Let me take the risk now. So wherever I have theta 1, I'll have theta 2 underscore 1 and similarly here underscore 2, and denominator I'll have the second term. Okay, so this is what for S1. Similarly we'll have for C1 underscore 1 term. So last time I had made a mistake here, so let me not do the same. I'm going to type this expression Wx into within bracket A1 plus A2 into cos of theta 2 underscore 1 plus A2 into, okay, yeah, so again there is a mistake I had made. Okay, now it is fine. Plus A2 into sine of theta 2 underscore 1 into Wy. Okay, now again denominator underscore 1, the first solution. Similarly we'll have the second solution. This time I have been careful to copy only that is required. Okay, so we'll have two set of solutions now. So thereafter we'll have to find the value of theta. Theta 1 underscore 1 will be A tan 2 S1 underscore 1 and C1 underscore 1. So this is what is theta 1 term, A tan 2. Similarly we'll have theta 1, the second solution, will have S1 2 and C1 2. So this is like first solution and this is second solution. Okay, so we have reached this stage. Now finally theta 3 will also have two solutions depending on which set you take. So theta 3 underscore 1 will be phi, which is same for both the cases, phi minus theta 1 underscore 1 minus theta 2 underscore 1. So this is how we get one of the theta 3's. Similarly I'll have the second theta 3, which is the second set, seconds of theta 2 and second of theta 1. Yeah, sorry, the other way around. Okay, now we have done the inverse kinematics. It is completed. So you can try it out giving some expressions. You will be able to get the values. Okay, now obviously without visualization it is very difficult. So what will I do is I'll either look at inverse kinematics of 2R code we already had for two links like this. Okay, or you can look at forward kinematics of 3R and try to extend the same code. So let me use inverse kinematics code. So we shall take code from here till here. This is related to the inverse kinematics. Let us go there. So we have done, and I'll just minimize this, extend this so that we have more space. Okay, so once we have the angles, so we know theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3. Okay, so forward kinematics is straightforward because we know that it is one after the other. A1 AX AY for the first solution, AX AY for the second solution, that is tip of the first point. Okay, similarly for BX and BY we'll have AX underscore 1 plus A2 into cos of the first solution theta 1 underscore 1 plus theta 2 underscore 1. Okay, So this is what is the tip of the point Bx, or you already had these as your Wx and Wy. Okay, so I'll leave it to you. You can try it out. Or equal to Wx, because ultimately once we do inverse, these are some checks you can have. Okay, so similarly ay underscore 1 plus a2 into sine of theta 1 second solution plus theta 2 second solution. This is also or equal to wy. Okay, so wx wy are already defined here because we are coming back. For the animation, we just want to get the coordinates. They are bx and by. Similarly, now I can have cx and cy. Cx is equal to, now if you want you can try it out. Let me see, I think I made a mistake here. So this is going to be bx, again copy paste problem. Bx by will actually be, it's always going to be same. Or you can try this also. I can select the second set. Okay, so theta 1 second set and theta 2 second set also, if you try, you should still get the same. Okay, so let me just do it this way. I think I made a mistake here. Okay, so theta 1 sine part is what is being used, or equal to this same expression you can try for the second set solution, ay2. Yeah, ay2, here it will be ax2. See, even after so much practice and experience, these terms can get confusing. Okay, so obviously you should have better idea on the geometric aspect. So what exactly it is, wx wy. If you make a small mistake, obviously your results are all going here and there. Okay, now cx and cy, in case if I have the same coordinates, so I can consider as px and cy is py. You can directly use, that's not a problem. Okay, now these are the inverse kinematics, or the links that are shown for the link 1 and link 2. Sorry, now link 3 bx, yeah, bx is there. Now link 3 will be same irrespective of which one you choose. Link 3 x coordinates are going to be from bx to px. Similarly, link 3 y coordinates are going to be from by to py. Okay, now so the first plot will draw one of the solutions. So we have link 1, link 2, and we'll use the link 3 terms also. Link 3 x coordinates and link 3 y coordinates, and the color we had used yellow, so y stands for yellow. Okay, so similarly in the second solution, elbow down or elbow up depending on what we take, we'll have a dotted dash dot. So that means the second solution will be shown like this. Okay, in case if it is not easy to locate, let me just zoom out a bit. So this is what is like, the first solution is drawn and then the second solution. Okay, let me just save this file in the same folder, ROC. and within that let us save it as Ikin 3R. Click on OK, and let's click on run. Okay, if the solution exists, it is shown. As you can see, this is a tip we wanted to reach, and we wanted the last link to be 120 with respect to horizontal. So from here we determine the values of Wx and Wy, and for Wx and Wy we have a 2R manipulator. One is like elbow down, another is elbow up. So you can play around, you can change the link lengths, and accordingly you will see some changes. And instead of 120, maybe I'll make it as 1, or maybe more also, be 60. Let's see, 60 degrees. Okay, so we wanted this point to be reached at, that is inclined at 60 degrees. So this is the W point, and for the W point we have two solutions, dash solution and solid line solution. Obviously you don't see dotted line for yellow because one is overlapping the other. That is why it doesn't really matter what you have said there. Okay, so with this I think we have come to the conclusion of inverse kinematics of 3R planar manipulator. This is a view in which the complete plot is shown. So we have come to end of ninth video. In the next video we'll look at some motion planning. Okay, so we'll consider a 2R manipulator, and we'll try to make the 2R manipulator draw a straight line or a circle or some shapes, and then we will export the data from MATLAB, and then we'll take the data in RoboAnalyzer. Okay, and once we get the data in RoboAnalyzer, we will be able to do the same animation. Whatever we do in MATLAB, we'll try to do the same in RoboAnalyzer and see whether it is working or not. With that, I would like to conclude video number 9. Thank you.